All right, good evening and blessings out there, Facebook. As your man Rod Hickman, generational wealth builders, where poverty ends with us. Look, super excited to come to you on this Sunday evening here, and we have a cast of professionals that I am super duper excited for you to be able to hear from. Listen, we've been doing some great things here with the Generational Wealth Builders team. Our hierarchy is growing in leaps and bounds, and I'm super excited to see more and more entrepreneurs that are partnering with us under the umbrella of ending poverty in our lives, ending poverty in our community lives, and all of those things. So I'm super excited tonight to introduce to you just some of our cast for tonight. So we have the illustrious Lady Eleanor Glover, the CEO of Insurance Matters. How you doing tonight, Lady Glover?
Doing great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good to see everyone. Good to be a part.
Hey, man, so glad to have you here. Then we also have the money man who's going from grease to greatness, Mr. Bobby D. Clary. Bobby, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, sir. It's an honor. Always an honor to be in your presence and in your face.
Yeah, man.
I always learn so much from you, man, even when we chit-chat.
Oh, bless your heart. Don't worry. Bribe money's coming. I got you. You did it well. Yeah. But yeah, and so last but not least, we have this team that I am calling America's Next Power Company. And they are located down in the Port St. Lucie area, but they're getting ready to own Deerfield. I'm telling you, you heard it here first. You can say I'm prophesying because I got my suit on today, so you can call me something like a prophet. But we're so glad to see the two of the newest licensed agents in the Generational Wealth Builders family, Mr. Richard and Lamisha Hughes, the CEOs and founder of Generational Wealth Builders South. Y'all, how y'all doing tonight, Cole?
Come on.
Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
It's a privilege and an honor to be on with you guys tonight to get this valuable information out to the masses. And so with our fearless leader, Mr. Rod Hickman, we're ready. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, so tell me, man, so how does it feel now to actually be licensed and be poised to be able to help families? How does it feel?
Well, to be honest with you, it's what we expected. So, we're just ready to really sit down and help build some families' generational wealth. So when you have an expectation, it's not necessarily a feeling. Now it's time for us to get to work to help build these families.
Exactly right. What about you, Lamisha?
I feel great. I feel that I accomplished something to help others. So it's wonderful.
Absolutely. Put a little spring in your step, didn't it?
Right.
Yeah, you walking like George Jefferson now, huh? Like, yeah, out here in these mean streets. So listen.
Right.
Okay, I'm on. So listen, so as we get ready to get started tonight, I've titled this tonight, Don't Believe the Hype. Because there is a lot of hype going on. Especially with everything that's happening in the banking world, right? Everything that's been happening with the stock market, people weren't really paying attention, right? People were kind of looking, but not looking. And so now all of a sudden, now they're seeing what's happening with these banks, how the banks are starting to fail. And so now people are starting to lose their shirt. And so one of the things that I pride myself on is that when we got started, in the pandemic 2020, I remember I was coming out and I was trying to tell people about insurance, and most people were like, no, I'm going in this route, I'm going in that route. And what I'm really, really grateful for, and again, I'm not saying this to say that I'm grateful that anybody's lost money, but I'm grateful in the sense that the industry that we in, none of my clients have called me about a loss. None of my clients have been like, hey, man, what the world? But their money is still growing. And so we are in an industry where life insurance has helped people's money. Those that understood what life insurance could do for you, they are on the up and up. And so what I want to do tonight is I want to talk about the hype that's always out there that life insurance is a scam. So I'll throw that first one out there and anybody can get on. Who want that? Who want first take it?
I'll take the bait.
All right.
So first off, it can't be hype. It can't be false information and a scam. We have to be licensed. It's
Okay.
regulated.
Exactly right.
And I mean, we have to make sure that we're trained, we're educated. We have to go through a constant continuing education, and we have to make sure that we're on the up and up. Because I'm telling you, I don't look good in orange. Chains like this in orange ain't my style.
Absolutely not. And I think that's funny that you bring that up, right? Because I don't think people realize that. In order to be able to present the products and services that we do, because it is regulated. Why? Because, and I had somebody ask me this the other day, and they just looked me straight in the face. And when I answered them, they were pretty much dumbfounded. They were like, well, how can you tell me that insurance is going to be protected? And I say, well, because it's regulated, because each state guarantees it, right?
Right.
So because of those state guarantors, your money is protected. And he was like, huh.
Education, right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. And so at that point, now I'm like, don't know what to tell you, but that's the truth right there. You get what I'm saying? Come on, go ahead, Lady Glover. What you got to say?
Yes, it like Bobby said, we have to be what was that word?
Licensed.
Licensed, thank you. We have to be fingerprinted. That was what was on my mind. We get background checks. Oh yeah, we are totally legit. and then we are serious about the business, trying to help families, trying to help as many people as we can, to educate people, to show them how they can make some smart money moves. Been putting that out on social media, that you don't have to let the market play with your money. You do not have to allow the market to play with your money. So how? We put it in a fixed indexed annuity. We put it in an IUL. There are ways to save your money, especially if you're getting close to retirement. This is not the time to lose, half of your retirement in the market. You want to save as much as you can.
Exactly right. And so help me understand, Lady Glover, why do you say a loss? Why is it playing with it in the market?
Because the market has no floor, what we call a floor. You can gain big, but you can also lose big. And so, and as our coach tells us so often, it's in percentages, and it can take you years to gain back what you've lost. And we don't have that type of time.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So, to our newest agents, what do y'all have to say?
Well, I was going to say, just like your money in insurance is safe and is secure, and that's what that license is for. That our license guarantees that. And so people don't understand that. So when we get that license, and we talk about putting your money in life insurance, it's that same guarantee. So without the license, so what would happen if you didn't have the license? Like Bobby said, we would find ourselves locked away, and there's no different from any other that you have to be, any other professional field that you would have to be licensed for. Because imagine, let's just take something simple as driver's license. What happens if you get caught with driving without a driver's license? It's the same thing, but on a grander scale.
Right. So cuz you have your own business, you do pest control, right? You have your own pest control.
Somebody pest control.
So let me ask you a question. So what if I decided that, hey man, I'm finna go do termite and pest control? What's gonna happen to me?
Well, you can go out and try. Because you're gonna have people to try. But if you're not regulated and you're not licensed, that's the first thing. Let's just say if you take a development, the first thing a development wants to see is they want to see your license, they want to see your insurance. And so you can't gain insurance if you don't have license. So that's the first thing. And so there's no difference from our industry now that we're getting into. You have to have the license to be able to present the work that you're trying to do, or even bid for the work that you're trying to do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to happen? Go ahead.
Another thing is, why not have life insurance on yourself? You have to have insurance for everything else. So why would life insurance be a scam? What about your auto insurance? What about your home insurance? What about your health insurance? So is all of it a scam?
Right. Exactly right. You know, and I think that's an amazing point that you bring up. Where I was going with that is, you know, obviously pest control, termite and pest control is not a scam. It's actually something that's necessary, actually something that brings value to the homes, right? We actually had to do it for the church. But here's the point I'm making, right? You had to have license for that, right? And that's the thing that makes you different from me being, you know, just Rod, you know, New Jack, just saying, hey, I got a truck with some pesticides on the back of my truck, you know, that I'm trying to spray in your yard and gonna mess around and hurt somebody or hurt something. And that's the same thing with being regulated and getting your license and life insurance, right? It hinders you and it creates sanctions where if I do it, as Bobby said, orange is the new black for me. Skinny brothers in orange don't go good. I'm just gonna say, it don't go well. And so that's why I'm so glad and so godly proud of you all for launching out into this industry. One, to be able to help families, but also be willing to educate people. Because again, every time people don't necessarily understand what it is. I'm quite sure, Richard, when you go out there and you say, well, hey, man, this is what's going on, they don't understand. And what you have to do, you got to say, hey, look at him. Come here. Let me show you. Look at that. You see that right there? What that means is this infestation or that infestation. Or that means they're right there or they're starting to come here. And this water that's pooling is bringing that, right? So you have to do all of that to help them understand. That's the same exact thing we do in this industry. We help families understand the reason for life insurance and why, A, it's not a scam. But even more importantly, it's what the wealthy use to continue to pass on generational wealth. Lady Glover.
And this is what we have not known, is how the rich take care of their money. Who's hurt in the market? Those poor and middle class people. And you know, if you have $600,000 in your 401k, God bless you. That's wonderful. But most people don't have that much in their 401k. And so what you have, you want to protect. And as we have learned that the 401k was never meant to be our primary means of retirement. And there are other, again, smart money moves. There are ways to make this money work for you, even as middle class, you know, whether you be the upper middle or the lower middle, it can work for you. And there is a way that it can be done. And so we have to continue to educate. I shared with someone the other night, when my father died in 1994, there was no insurance.
Wow.
I don't know if they ever talked about it or what, and went to his job to see about his pension. All they said that was there was $3,000. $3,000. And if it had not been for the kind man who owned the funeral home, because my father did work in the community and around the funeral home, he said, we'll do it for you. And so, but we don't want other people to have to go through that. Exactly. We don't want you to have to go through that. So we are here to help people align their monies so that, as we say, life insurance is love insurance. There is a better way to leave a legacy for your family.
Exactly. I think that's powerful, Lady Glover, because again, I don't think people, until they've been in that situation, really understand it, right? You know, and I often, when I'm presenting to people, I often can see people's eyes kind of come open, because I'll make a statement to say, so you know that if you have a husband and a wife, and let's say both of them are bringing in $50,000 a piece a year. So you have $100,000 budget. The loss of an income earner literally cuts that budget in half. Cut that budget in half. You literally have just graduated that family to poverty. Does that make sense? Bobby, what you think about that, man?
Yeah. So, like, the one thing that we really got to talk about is the living benefit, you know, because in the whole life insurance idea, you know, most of the time, the only life insurance people know about is term and whole life.
Okay.
Right. And so I saw something. What is today? Sunday. My days are like all jumbled. So it was Thursday or Friday afternoon. The first time in my life I had ever seen somebody at a red light at an intersection. Now you see people asking for money all the time. Firefighters fill the boot, you know, fundraisers for churches and school organizations, all that. But this last week was the first time that I actually saw poster boards with people's pictures, and it was a funeral benefit. They said, wow, help us fund the funeral. And my heart was broken because I'm like, look, I sell life insurance. If you would have just given me 10 minutes of your time,
exactly right,
maybe you guys wouldn't be in this situation. And, you know, so the idea is that people have seen these commercials. They're starting to pop up in my social media feeds about all these term policies. And term policies. Now, I'm not saying that they're ridiculous, because anything is better than nothing. If that's all you can afford, your family has something.
Right.
But here's the but. If you're wearing them J's, you got that fancy new phone, then you ought to be able to have some insurance.
Break it down.
Something that means something to your family. So they ain't got to be out there begging at the red light to try to get you taken care of.
That's right.
You know, or try to keep your spouse or your kids from losing everything that they had. So the living benefits that we have, and I know you want to get to this, Rob, maybe I'm jumping the gun, but the IUL, the Indexed Universal Life Insurance, has living benefits. And go ahead, Rob, because I know you fix to start chomping. You're salivating already. But, you know, there's some things that you want to get to in this conversation. But, you know, that's the education part of what we do. You know, we are part of a business and part of a culture that we are helping people. We want to see them leave a legacy. We want to see them matter to their family. We want to see them leave something. I don't want to leave debt. I don't want to leave a bunch of bills for my family to worry about. When I pass, I hope that my wife does not have to go to work the very next day, right? Because most people are living paycheck to paycheck. And like you just said, the loss of an income, if it's 50-50, you know, and they're making $100,000 a year, you just drop that to $50,000.
Yeah.
Is my wife going to be able to, through her grief, through her suffering, taking care of the kids, is she going to be able to go to work tomorrow?
Right. And it's all about priorities. Okay. So we'll say, and like it's so true, when you mentioned everybody, term insurance, term insurance is good in its place. If you want to pay off your mortgage, fund college, whatever, have you some term insurance, but don't let that be your primary insurance.
Exactly right. Exactly.
You mentioned permanent life insurance. Immediately, everybody thinks whole life. Well, whole life benefits the insurance company, doesn't benefit you too much. Okay. But the IUL, let me tell you about the IUL. And everybody say, be your own bank. With the IUL, you can be your own bank. So let's break that down. Okay. So we have to do that. And so, and not, it's all about priorities, about priorities. Of course, we want to train the parent. Go ahead and get your child their own IUL policy. Get yours, get them set for life, right? This is going to follow them the rest of their life. Okay, young person, go ahead and get your IUL policy. Go ahead and start preparing now for retirement. And then we have to train them how to put more money in so that they will have that money. You can't pay because with these policies, the premiums are flexible, but you cannot pay the bare minimum and think you're going to have money for retirement. So we have to explain that to them as well.
Right. And the value of an IUL is, with anything, you want to get in as early as possible, because the more time you have, the more opportunity you have for exponential growth, right? Yeah. Let that compound interest take over. So, if you wait till you're 50, 55 years old, you don't have much time according to the average lifespan, right? But my children have policies. My children have IULs, and their policies, right, are so small monthly, but they gain so much money, and there's tax benefits to that. You can access that money, and who knows what they want to use it for, but they don't have to worry about paying that back, or that money that they take out of it being taken away from the death benefit.
Right.
So I want to set my children up for success, right? The biggest thing in my life is that no matter how hard I work, no matter what dream I'm chasing, if my ceiling becomes their floor, if my ending place is their starting place, then I've achieved my goal. And so if I can set them up now, then they have the opportunity for greatness when something happens to me.
So Bobby and Lady Glover, so what I'm hearing, and when you're talking about the IUL, the first thing that comes to mind to me is information is power.
Yes, absolutely.
So when information is power, this IUL is big just because of the lack of information. So when you talk about term a whole life, and when people only think about that is because it's a lack of information. And so that is where we come in at. We are there to educate them, to let them know there is another way, and it is the way. And so information is power.
So we should actually be able to be paid by the government as educators instead of teachers, right? Because that's what it is. If you educate your client, then you don't have to sell them anything. You educate them, and they see the value in it, and they go, wait a minute, where's this been my whole life? How come nobody's told me about this? And that's why a lot of people get scared, is because when something's new to somebody, they kind of shriek back, and they're like, wait a minute, why are you telling me about this? How come I've never heard it anywhere else? I've always been preached, IRAs, Roth, and 401ks, 403bs, all those things. I've always been preached about those things, because the companies that help you invest in those get to write that match off of taxes. It benefits them way more than it benefits you. That's why that's not discussed, because companies can't benefit off of you investing in life insurance for you.
Yep. So man, listen, this conversation is going just as I planned it, right? and so somebody just said, I think it was Richard that said about education. Again, everything you all are saying is spot on, right? But let's talk a little bit about education, and not just education, right? Because I've heard somebody say there's a difference between education and indoctrination, right? There's a big difference, right? Education it gives you the opportunity to be a free thinker, to be able to understand and come to your own conclusion. That's what education does. Indoctrination makes you just look at this focal point. It says, this is the way. This is it. That's it. Don't think, well, what about this? No. I just need you to focus on this. That's what indoctrination does. And so, again, I know we have plenty of teachers out there that do the very best they can. Again, and so I will never, ever speak against the teachers that are in the school system, because, again, I'm proud of teachers that care. So I would never, ever go there. But we're living in a time now where the curriculum is designed more for indoctrination than it is for education, right? And so with that being said, let me share my screen. I just want you to see this, because when people talk about that life insurance is a scam, I love to show them this. And then I ask them, okay, well, what do you think about this? So what you see here on your screen is about bank-owned life insurance. And what this tells us is it is a it's a product where the bank is the beneficiary, right? And notice they use this as a tax shelter, right? It leverages the tax-free savings to fund mechanism for employee benefits. So literally saying what they do, they buy the policies, they invest money in it, and oh, by the way, whose money is a bank using?
Yours. Ours.
Your money, my money, and all of our money, and they're putting it in the same type of policy we're talking about, the IUL. They're doing that to make sure that they can fund employee benefits, but yet and still, when I talk to clients, they're like, oh, it's a scam. If it's a scam, why is it that the bank is doing it?
Exactly.
Show me a broke bank executive. I'll wait. I'll wait. Even with all this stuff that has just happened with all these banks, show me a broke bank executive. You're not going to see one. Why? Because this product works. It works wonders. And they know it. And the problem is, if the masses start realizing that, guess what that means? The masses going to do. The masses going to stop putting their money in the bank, and they're going to start putting their money in their own IUL.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And again, but here's the thing. Not everybody's going to do it, because some people are just like, well, I just want to, I ain't trying to rock the boat or nothing like this. And that's fine, right? But again, there are those out there, those of you out there that are looking at your money like, God Almighty, it's got to be something better than this. I remember I was doing a presentation with the family, and I'm into my zone. I'm into it, and I didn't even know the mother was in the background. And mother, she just retired and everything like that, precious mother. And I remember she was like, "Well, hey man, hey, listen, let me talk to you about something." And she was like, "So I put $10,000 into a particular bank product, and after 21, almost 22 years, all I've earned from that is $3,500.
Oh my God.
Woo.
Oh my God.
She took $10,000 and put that $10,000 into a bank product, and after 21 years, all she gained off of that was $3,500. $3,555 if I could be precise.
So that's the programming too.
Exactly right.
You're gonna grow your money, but the whole programming of put your money in the bank so that the bank makes it, and they're like, yeah, we'll give you 1-2%. If you got a credit union, we'll give you 3, maybe 3.5%. And you're working on these little bitty portions when you could be in something that's growing and putting those numbers to absolute shame.
Absolutely.
And the biggest kicker, have tax advantages.
Exactly right. Let me go back to this one screen, because I want to show you something here, right? Because again, at the end of the day, we all know it's about money, right? Let's just be honest. But here's some of the key takeaways. Notice what it's saying is bank-owned life insurance, a form of life insurance used in the banking industry, uses the tax shelter to fund employee benefits. It can be used to fund your benefits. But let's look down here at the last one. It says, even if an employee covered by the bank-owned life insurance leaves or is terminated, the policy remains in place.
Wow. And they never receive a dime of it. Wow.
They stay the beneficiary.
How sick. You get what I'm saying? See, that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
See, they give you suckers and stuff when you go in there. You know what I'm saying? Suckers and lollipops and all that there. But look at what they're doing, right? And again, what we're here to do is educate people. Now, again, I'm not saying we don't need banks. I believe we need them. But more importantly, and especially right now, with all that's going on,
Mm-hmm.
in this economy.
Yeah.
Don't you need your money more so?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Hearing that, reading that fact that even after an employee leaves, they still keep that life insurance policy on you. One thing for sure, two things for certain. Death is imminent and taxes are as well, right?
Right.
So that means that even employees that have gone on, they've gotten paid off them folks.
Yeah. Yep. Isn't that something?
This is what we want folk to understand.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
It is.
You know, the Social Security was started back in the 30s to help people, make it through the hard times.
Yes.
And so through the years, people, when I get my Social Security, baby, it's not going to be enough. Let me tell you. It will not be enough. And so, and now, and really the 401k is about it, the same way now. It's not going to be enough. So we have to educate, learn, read, do what we can, talk to somebody. How do the other people do it? They are not upset. They're not in an uproar about their money. I saw business owners the other day at SVB Bank. I saw little people, but the big people wasn't worried about it. So tell me what it is I need to do. What is it that I need to know to make my money grow?
Right.
That's powerful. And then notice how the government came right out and said, you know what, don't worry about it. We're going to cover the loss. And they told that hot lie that the taxpayers aren't going to have to pay for it. So, and the reason why I say it's a lie is because the government does not make money. Their money comes through taxation.
They print it. They make it if you call them. If that's what you say.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I stand corrected. They do make it, right?
They're not generating any cash flow,
but they cannot generate revenue.
That's
right.
Right. They can make it. You're right. You're right. They make, and they are good at making it. But again, that's what we have to understand, that at the end of the day, what we sometimes are obtuse about is the very thing that can actually change our family's trajectory. What you got to say, Richard? You itching to say something, man.
No, I wasn't saying anything. I was agreeing.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the IUL. So I think we've established a few points. I think we've established that, first of all, it's not a scam. Secondly, banks use them. Banks use them to fund their employees. They use them to cover their lives. And something was said a little earlier, and I kind of want to circle back to that. Last year, I issued a challenge, and I'm quite sure nobody took me up on that challenge, right? And that challenge was, hey, man, instead of spending all that money at Christmas on toys, shoes, all that other stuff, cut that in half. Get your children an IUL and overfund that. You get what I'm saying? Instead of spending $7,000, $8,000, $1,000 on stuff that's going to be strewn across the yard, have you mad, have you cussing, ready to fight and everything else, why don't you put your money in something that's going to grow? And I'm going to issue that challenge again, because as Bobby was talking about earlier, it's just a little bit now. And I think it was Lady Glover that said, or somebody said it about priorities, right? Where are your priorities? Your priorities should be on building your family and building generational wealth. But here's the thing, and I'm gonna throw this out there and I'll let y'all have it. Do y'all think that there is a mentality out there that says, hey man, I saw my granddaddy struggle, I saw my mom and them struggle, so it's inherent that I have to struggle? The floor is open.
Y'all want me to take this? I'll start with it.
Okay.
So it's like I said before, and I'll say it 100 times. It's all about programming. You know, a lot of people think, well, because this has been in my generation or in my family, generation after generation, this is the way it is.
Right.
And it's not. You can break that generational curse by making smart decisions, smart money moves, and thinking about a new direction. And it's all about education. We can always go back to that. That just because something is new to you doesn't mean that it's bad. That obviously we had the conversation earlier about being licensed. A general contractor has to be licensed. You know, to build a home, you have to be licensed. To build a business, you have to be licensed. It's all ways to make sure that it's legit and the consumer is protected. And so we're in a legit business to help families. How many businesses out there really care about the people that they reach? Or are they just another dollar? You know, but here we are preaching and teaching about products that will benefit you, not benefit me. You know, your life insurance does not benefit me.
Exactly.
Because I'm not you unless you want to make me your beneficiary. I'll sign the form. You know, but the whole thing is that, you know, folks they have to just be educated, and we have to get this message out there. We have to tell them, look, you can break the generational curse. Just because everybody before you had to work by the sweat of their brow and they didn't have anything, you can have something. There's nothing out there but air and opportunity.
That's right.
Go ahead. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. You're right. I feel like there's some validity to what you're saying, but I'm gonna go back to the education part of it, and so from generation to generation, that mindset goes from generation to generation. But I also think it comes down to a conversation and education. So a lot of people can't be. I can't charge you with something until I know you have that information. So and then it comes down to us having a conversation and us talking. So now once I present that to you, then that's when that change can take place. Because I think a lot of times people just don't know. Right. And I think they just don't know because they went into that same rut from generation to generation. But in order to break that generation curse, some information is going to have to be had in order for them to do that. And then we'll see that progress. Somebody in that family is going to have to start it. And so I think that's where we come in. And yes, it's going to be foreign to them because it's going to be breaking the mold. But once we get them that information and that information makes sense to them, then I think they can move. And so we have to become not only insurance agents, but agents of change for them.
All right.
Exactly right.
Exactly correct. And yes, we want to start that revolution. We want to be the game changer. We want to be the ones to change the world, to say, hey, look, let's look at it this way. This is a better way. Let's plan it out this way. And so that your children won't have to struggle like you did. You don't have to struggle like your parents did. We can make a better decision. We can make a better choice, and we can set our priorities. We do not have to have the latest everything. I don't even like to shop, which is a rarity for a lady. It's not something I like. But but set the priority. You don't have to buy everything that comes out, right? You don't have to. Can I tell you, rich people don't do that. Rich people don't do that. They are trying to make their money grow to have for what they want. They don't run out and buy the latest Jordan that comes out every time, or the latest whatever, and you working at Burger King and you got every Jordan shoe or, or whatever, let's change the mindset. It starts with a mindset change. Where is it that you want to go? Where is it that you want to go? You can't live everything today. Save some for tomorrow. With my young people at church, I have this little rhyme that I tell them: you can play now and pay later, or you can pay now and play later. The choice is yours. What do you want to do?
You know, but and I think that's a fantastic point. Because now, and especially during this time, now I know some folk, they tax money been gone. they tax money for some folk now. Some folk, they only live for tax time.
Yeah.
And that's a poverty mindset.
That's right.
Because I don't think people think about it, but it's really more of a gluttonous mindset. It's like, instead of you being able to enjoy over the course of the year, it's like you just get to this point in time and you just go and do everything, and then you sit and wait for the rest of the year to enjoy life.
Yeah.
Or, and again, trust me, I'm that guy. I've been there. I didn't grow up on that side of the track. I wasn't taught about money. I had to learn. And most of my lessons were learned the hard way. So again, when I talk, I don't talk from somebody who looked down on folk. I've made the mistakes that need to be made. I understand that. But also what I understand, there has to become, as Richard said, that change. You have to be willing to change if you want change. You can't say, I don't want to eat beanie weenies and rice no more, but yet and still, everything you own is on your back. Everything. Every time I drive by advanced loans or security finance or One Main or any other, why are those places always full? They are prosperous because they know that you don't understand how money works.
Yeah.
That's how they're prosperous. They know you don't want to change. And they do pretty much the exact same thing that the bank does. Hey, yeah, you one of our preferred customers. Hey, we got $1,000 for you. That's going to take you 3 years to pay off that $1,000.
Right.
Because they're anywhere from 20 to 30 or more percent.
Exactly.
I've been there. I've gone through a bankruptcy. I've nearly lost everything that I own.
Yep.
And so I've been in the bad side. I've been on the wrong side of money so many times. I've made some terrible mistakes. And you know what really messed with my mind is, the whole idea of bankruptcy was we filed on everything, unsecured, and even filed on a vehicle, but we reaffirmed with our house. Right. And the bank treated me like a criminal every time I walked in to pay my loan.
Wow.
They wouldn't just take my check, or I could walk in there with cash to pay my loan, and they would not take it. They had to call the main branch. They had to give them the account number, and I had to stand in line for almost 15 minutes while they processed my payment.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, I didn't file on you guys. Maybe I should have. But I've been in that line, and it sucks, man. I'll tell you 100%. And I even tell you that, that I still make mistakes, but the one thing about being in this business is I've changed my mindset. I've changed the way that I look at money, because money is an incredible slave, but it's a terrible master. And, by being in this business, I have to be I have to be reading, I have to be studying, I have to be looking at what's going on, what people are seeing, so that I can tell them, hey, wait a minute. I know you see chaos here, but let me tell you where a safe place is. Let me tell you where your options are. And it's helped me. It's helped me more than anybody. Because I've been armed with information.
Yeah. Definitely.
I feel like Noah.
It's raining.
Like, hey man, it's gonna rain, bro. Like, I know y'all may not believe this, right? but there's this thing that comes out the sky. It's coming, right? And one of the things that I'm coming to understand is those that are seeking shelter, those who say, you know what, man, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Those who say, you know what, poverty has been in my family long enough. Those are the ones that are moving. Yeah. Those are the ones that are beginning to experience greatness, experiencing the life-changing benefits of being able to walk away from poverty. Those are the ones. And again, that goes back to why our motto is what it is, where poverty ends with us. We are able to help families. And again, first of all, it's got to start with us. It had to start with me. Again, there was a time I couldn't walk into a gun store without coming out of there with something, right? Mm-hmm. Whether I had to put it on a credit card or whatever the case may be. But I thank God, I was just telling Bobby right as we got on, I walked into the gun store and I went over there and was like, I'm good. I ain't asked to hold now, but I was able to go in there and actually do it when there was a point in time where, I got a few extra dollars and blah, blah, blah. Let me get this, that. No. Because again, I'm learning about the long game, to the point that Lady Glover made. Pay now, play later, or inverse that, you can pay now and play later. And so I'm working on playing later. Yeah. All right. So we're almost at about 45 minutes of this. So listen, I want to kind of do one kind of last round robin for any kind of last words or whatnot. But again, so we'll start with you, Richard. What you got to say, my man?
I'm gonna be short and sweet. I'm gonna piggyback off what Bobby was talking about, being a slave to money. And I saw this quote the other day, and that is read, don't allow money. Don't be a slave to money, but allow someone else to help you. And when I saw that, I thought of us. That is what we can do for our customers, or potential customers. We can help them take care of their money, and so they won't be a slave to their actual money.
All right. Very good.
Lady Glover?
One thing I wanted to bring out with the IULs, the money, the interest credits that you're earning can be used for liquidity in your business. The money that you have in your personal policy, this money is liquid, and this money can be reported on different, whatever you need it for, as money that you can put your hand on. And so, this is for those who are trying to become investors and things like this. This is very important. Business owners, even, to have that money there. So you want to get that IUL. You want to, again, for retirement, you want that IUL. If later on you want to buy a home, give your child a first home or a college degree or whatever, that money will be there for you. I saw somebody was saying a lot of times, there people with IULs are promised these extravagant. No, it's extravagant increases. But what it is compounded interest.
That's all it is.
It's compounded interest. The money rolls over year after year after year. It's not like going and getting that lottery ticket and think you're going to get $1 million today. Exactly. But you got to let it grow. You've got to let it stay there and do what it needs to do. And we often talk about that rule of 72. How long is it going to take for your money to double, for your money to increase? And so these are things that we want to, not maybe exciting, but it's good to know. It's exciting to those who want to know it. This is how I can make my money work for me. This is how I can be the bank. I want to be my own bank. If I wanted something, I don't have to go and borrow from the bank. I can get it from my own money, my own stash of money.
And I think you bring up a very valid point there, Lady Glover. Again, while it's a mindset change, a lot of people often think I want something fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as we talked about earlier, you're not getting it fast from the bank.
No.
The only way you get money fast is if you go to these check cashing places. Or you go and try to run 6-4 backdoor Lil Joe, right?
That's right.
The only way you're gonna get it fast, right? And
right.
even guaranteed you're gonna do it there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you brought up an amazing point that with this product, I'm always amazed at how we can sit down, show clients, hey man, this is where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you can be. The only thing that's holding you up from being here is you.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when I sit down with the family and I ask them about, oh, hey, what kind of retirement do you have? And they kind of hug, well, we kind of pulled our money out during, the pandemic and stuff like that. So, man, we really starting over. Great, no problem. I can show you how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I show them that IUL, but even more so than that, I show them how much money they need in order to retire on. Mm-hmm. And these are the kind of things that I'm glad that we do here at Generational Wealth Builders, because at the end of the day, if you don't know how much money you need to retire on, you're not going to retire, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But other than that, you brought up a great point. What we do is more than just life insurance and sell somebody life insurance. Come on, Bobby, close us out, man.
All right. So I'll kind of pull everything together here. We've learned that with an IUL, the money is liquid.
Yep.
You have liquidity. You have access. A bank run is not going to mess you up.
Yep.
It's safe.
Yep.
It has a good rate of return. You see, I'm going through the laser test, right?
Yes.
Tax advantages.
Mm-hmm.
And all that together is what makes these products incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And the places where we put this, your money is safe. This you don't have to worry about crashing and losing money. Like Rod said earlier, none of his clients have ever said, oh man, I'm heartbroken, I'm about to pull my hair out, I don't know what I'm going to do because I lost money. None of our clients have said I've lost money.
Exactly right.
And that's the business that we're in. We're helping people, we're helping families, we're educating them, and we're teaching them how to make their money work for them in a way that's going to benefit them. Because life insurance, we think, well, life insurance ain't for me, it's for my beneficiary. But the living benefits benefit you, and they have that option.
Exactly.
That's an incredible thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we should call a spade, because if it's not life insurance, that means that it is death insurance.
Mm-hmm.
The only time you can use it when you die, then let's call it for what it is.
That's
death insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But what we have is life insurance, because to your point, if you're diagnosed, you have a heart attack, you have a stroke, you have cancer, you can't get up out of the bed, you can't feed yourself, something major happens to you, you'll get part of your life insurance while you're still alive.
That's right.
And I hear people say, well, I got Aflac. Bro. Okay, not to take nothing away from Aflac.
Mm-hmm.
But they're okay if you're accident prone. But I don't want to be hurt to get some money.
You get what I'm saying? And so if life just happens to happen,
right,
and I got a $3-4.5 million life insurance policy, and my insurance company called me and said, ring, ring, hello, we've heard about what you're going through. By the way, a check is in the mail for so many $100,000. Oh, by the way, you still have the other portion of your life insurance.
Right.
That is going to take a load off of my mind.
Exactly.
As a man, I'm telling you now, God forbid if something were to happen, my first thing is really not about me. It's about making sure that my home is taken care of. But watch this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to close with this. How many people have been sick? And because they realized it was more beneficial for them to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
to live.
I believe that. I believe that.
Checked out.
Yeah.
How many? How many people felt like I don't have anything to add value to my family?
Mm-hmm.
Because the doctor said this, I'm going to be out of commission. It's just easy if I just die right now.
Right.
How
I
many
don't
people
have the money. I don't have the money. How the bill's going to get paid?
Exactly right. How many people have had that thought? How many people have had that conversation? And that's why, again, it's important that we keep getting the message out. And I'm glad that all of our face is set like flint. And we don't really care about the no's. Mm-hmm. Again, I already know I can't help everybody. Not that I can't, I won't help everybody because everybody does not want help. Mm-hmm. But for those that do want help, we're here to help you. And folks, I just want you to know as we close out tonight here, you have three of the greatest people who are so passionate about helping you achieve your financial goals. We have Miss Lady Eleanor Glover, Insurance Matters, again, just an affiliate broker with us that's doing amazing things and licensed in multiple states, a state near you. She can help you. Bobby, the money man, Clary. He's the CEO of Legacy Bridge Builders. Again, he's out of Garland, Tennessee. So again, if you're in the Covington area, you got Bobby you can reach out to. He also licensed in Mississippi, I believe, Alabama, and a couple other states. I think he's working on Florida. And then we have our newest licensed agent, Mr. Richard and Lamisha Hughes down there in Deerfield Beach, Florida. And again, they're getting ready to branch out. They're getting ready to branch out into North Carolina, into Texas. Again, so you have a network of providers that will be able to make sure that you have products and services that are going to help you and your family. I just don't want you to believe the hype. That's why we've got on here for an hour. As you can see, I haven't even gotten out of my clothes from earlier. But we wanted you to know that there are products out there. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be like, oh, man, what's going to happen, man? No, you don't have to feel like that. You can be financially secure. So listen, it's your man, Rod Hickman, Generational Wealth Builders, where poverty ends with us. We love you so much. And don't let me forget me. I can help you too. You can me too. I can help
number one in the business. Ooh, number one, y'all. I'm telling you.
I can help too, y'all. I want y'all to know I can help y'all too. But again, that's what we wanted y'all to know on tonight. Insurance is not a scam. And while I appreciate some of the stuff that Dave Ramsey has said, everything Dave Ramsey said ain't gospel. No. So again, just term life insurance is a tool, but it's not your primary. It should never be your primary. All right. Well, listen, love y'all so much. Thank y'all for your time. Thank y'all for my host for being on, my cast. I really appreciate y'all. And y'all remember that poverty ends with us. Y'all take care. God bless.